back with the Porsche videos. I know it's been a few weeks, we've been quite busy with the GLC, which I hope a lot of you watch them videos. It turned out a really nice car for my girlfriend in the end. Now in the last videos we made quite a lot of progress with this Porsche, but there's still a long way to go, so I'm going to get us a little bit further in this video. I'm still waiting for some parts. The wheels are going to take a little bit longer yet to be painted, and then obviously because they've been painted, I want to leave them a little bit of time to dry properly before I put tyres on them, just in case anything happens, in case of scratch or anything like that. This video we're just going to make more progress than before. It's not going to be finished in this video. I'm sure you can appreciate this is going to be a long process, this car. It's a bit more than I imagined this project being time wise, but it's going to be worth it. And over here, as you saw in the last video, we've got the rear bumper painted. That's all ready to go on, so that'll be getting fit now. Front bumper, that'll be afterwards. Side skirts, I've just had a little dry fit, so we're going to fit them properly now as well. And then obviously it all needs a real good polish, so that'll be done. But I'm going to do that all at the end, all at once, so it's going to be like an end reveal with it all nice and polished and gleaming. Now, one of the things I did look into quite a lot is trying to get hold of some new or in good condition OEM rear lights for this car, but no, there's none available other than going straight to Porsche for some brand new ones, which is just out of the question because of how much they are. So I did think I'd have a go at refurbing them. Now this ain't going to work because actually the scratches that are in these seem to be like in the plastic or maybe even underneath it, and I can't really see how to take these lights apart without possibly damaging them, so I'm just not going to bother. So we got these ones now. I know these aren't going to be for everyone, but I think these are going to really pop against the black car, and at night they look beautiful with the LED stripes and stuff like that on them. So they're going to be going on next. I'll show you though what I mean by the scratches in the old headlights. I mean, if they're worth something to anyone, let me know, because they are going to be for sale. They're not going to be much, like I say, because they're not in good condition, I don't think. And without new lenses, I can't see them being fixable. So they're not going back on. We'll see what this looks like with these new black lights with the LEDs, the modern style. The next thing to install is the small spoiler followed by the big spoiler. Now this is just a small one that sits there. This raises up and down either on a button or at a certain speed apparently. It's just got two 30mm bolts holding the bottom part on, and then 7 little T20s holding this top bit on. So we'll get that back on, then we'll put the big wing on the boot, which is something I'm quite looking forward to doing. Right, we've got the wheels back, and a massive thank you to Lee at Cocoon Smart Repairs in Leeds. He's painted these for me because I was just so short on time. I've done them in the Porsche GC4 gold to match the spoiler upstands and a few other bits that are going to be done on the car. Done an absolutely fantastic job, and now the tyres are on. I've had a mobile tyre fitter come round and put these tyres on for me because I were a little bit giddy. I'm dying to see what this looks like, so I think we're going to have to stick them on the car now and just have a quick look and see if they actually fit, because I've guessed that these wheels will fit in the tyre sizes. Now the tyres are on, the tyres look brilliant for the wheels, are spot on for the size of the wheel, but the wheel offsets and the fact that the 20s now and they're a lot wider is, well, it could be a problem, we'll see. So we're going to put them on now and have a quick look. May have opened a bit of a can of worms here. The wheels look fantastic, absolutely love them, but they don't fit. Oddly enough, I thought if there were going to be a problem at all, it'd be the rears, but it's not. It's the fronts that don't fit. Let me show you. The gap there is non-existent now. The wheel does turn, but it is ever so slightly touching the suspension strut, which obviously can't happen. So now on the back though, I have loads of room, which took me by surprise a little bit. I thought it'd be the other way around, but that's a bit of a problem. Now, I've spent a lot of money on these wheels and people have spent a lot of time. I've sourced them from abroad, the wheels. I'd obviously Lee paint them, so I'm not giving up on them. I need to have a think about this, but there will be a solution. I can't imagine it being cheap, nothing for this car is. But in the meantime, we'll crack on with some other bits. Now, if you're wondering how a problem like this ends up being fixed, then please consider hitting that subscribe button, because the solution is going to come in the next video. I'll more than likely give you a little hint at what it is at the end of this video, but the actual solution will be fixed in the next one, so please consider hitting that subscribe. Now, in the meantime, we're going to crack on with this front bumper. Now, obviously, you know from watching the other work that's been done, this is the GT4 body kit for this car, so this is the GT4 front bumper, or GT4 style. It's not a genuine one because they didn't actually do one in this model this year, so this is a GRP one, which they fit quite well but not quite right. So basically this is me making sure all the mounting points fit, then just adjusting it very slightly with some fillers and things like that, just to make everything line up to perfection. Once that's done, then we continue to work around the bumper, because these bumpers aren't perfect the way they come, so you have to kind of just refine them slightly, and this is it basically all done, just ready for painting now. So now we'll get on to actually spraying it. Now, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's rusty brake discs, and these are These are very rusty. Now I don't think they're that old really, because there's not much of a lip on them, and obviously as the pads break on the disc they cut their own grooves, and that's a bit of a giveaway when you need new discs, because the lip on the edge is quite big, but this isn't a big lip at all. So I've actually got a solution for this. It might work, it might not, we'll give it a go. Basically I'm going to take these off, put them in a rust eating solution, completely submerge them for as long as it takes to see if it'll actually clean the rust off and bring them up back new again. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's one of those things, it's worth a try, because if it works for one of the discs, it's going to work for all of them. So I'm going to take this off and try that now. I let these brakes soak. It says, the solution that I bought says it can remove rust in 30 minutes. Now I knew it wasn't going to do that because there were quite a lot of rust on these brakes, so I left them overnight, and when I took them out of the solution it actually looked really promising. The front of the disc looked brilliant. It looked like it had removed all the discs, all the rust off the disc. But now I've turned them round, it's a bit of a different story. I'll show you. It's a shame really, because it has removed very well the rust off the front of the disc, and although there's a little lip on these brakes, there's not much, so if the rust had been removed properly they would have been usable, but they're not. There's parts of metal missing out the back of it, unfortunately, so just more money obviously. Now this is a bit of a shame, because when you see it here you can see that the front of the disc it's actually done a really good job with, but one thing I hadn't noticed even before I wouldn't have even put them in solution if I'd have seen how bad they were at the back, to be fair, but they were that rusty you couldn't really tell. Now this has got bits of metal in it, and you can see there that that's an untreated disc. That middle one's the treated disc, and then obviously on the right's a brand new one because I've had to go brand new. And although the rust eating solution did a great job of removing all the surface rust, it obviously can't fix problems like this where there's a big piece of metal missing. And you can just see the grooves in the back of that disc, and the same with the other one as well. So the backs are going to be the same, the rear discs are going to be the same. Obviously this means that the pads are also knackered, so they'll need to be replaced, but that's no problem I suppose. When you do discs you want to do pads anyway, so they both wear at the same rate. They both wear nicely against each other, so that's what it's getting. New pads there, new discs, and yep, throw the old ones away. Worth a try, but didn't work. Right, let's get back to the main problem I'm having with this car, and that is getting coolant back into the coolant system. Now, last time you'll remember that this was happening constantly. Every time I tried to pull a vacuum on the cooling system so that I could put coolant back in it, it kept finding coolant in the system still, which is pretty much at this point now, and that were it. It wouldn't let me pull any more vacuum. So basically what I've done, after trying this a couple more times, I've gone underneath the car and taken off any coolant hose that I can at all, anywhere I can see one, and just try my hardest to get every last bit of coolant out of this cooling system, up at the front where the radiators are, in the pipes that run from the front to the back of the car. Anywhere I can find a joint that I can separate and get some coolant out, that's what I've done. Now, I just kept at this for probably for hours, getting more coolant out, trying it again, trying to pull a vacuum, not having any luck at all. I'd get so far and then it'd just find some coolant from somewhere. So just persistence, just kept at it, and then eventually it actually allowed me to pull a vacuum. And with the vacuum pulled and held for a little while, that actually meant that I could then try and fill it back up with coolant. So by lowering basically the tube into the coolant bucket and then opening the valve to the coolant system, the vacuum that's in the coolant system is overwhelmed by the outside pressure pushing coolant back into the system. So as you can imagine, at this point I was really rather happy that I thought I'd cracked it. Now, it took about 18 litres of coolant, which I know isn't enough for this car. It needs more than that. So this still hasn't worked fully, and I think the problem is two problems. First of all, the pipes were collapsing to the front radiators, I think, before it had pulled true vacuum, so there wasn't actually full vacuum in the radiators, so they weren't going to fill up. Not only that, but with a cold engine, the thermostat's shut, and if that's shut, then it won't allow coolant past it into the radiator system until the engine's up to temperature. So I'm a little bit puzzled really how you're actually supposed to do this efficiently. But the fact that it's got 18 litres in is absolutely brilliant news. But the one thing I now need to do now is run the car up to temperature, get the back end up in the air, or at least lower the front end, which I can't do because I've got all the brake discs off it, and yeah, let it run up to temperature and try and bleed the system manually for the last few litres that it needs to take. So this obviously is going to be a next video job as well, because I need to get the wheels on the front, the brake discs on the front, things like that, so I can lower the front end of the car back on the floor. But this is progress, I think. So yeah, just keep watching. Hopefully next time we might be able to run this car up to temperature. So let's keep going. Next up, we've got the bonnet. Now this has been sat a couple of weeks, so if there was going to be any problems with paint shrinking back into any small scratches or anything, that's already happened. So what I've done is I've spent quite a while refining this, wet sanding it back, then really machine polishing it to get it as corrected as I possibly can, which I think you'll agree looks pretty good to me. It's not 100% perfect, because it's one of those, where do you stop with a black car? It's so difficult to get that mirror finish, because as soon as you basically touch the panel, you've scratched it again straight away. So what this getting is a G-Technic coating. It's basically a hydrophobic coating, and it's like a protection. It protects against UV, things like that. It doesn't actually really help scratches much, but it's a good thing to have. It keeps everything a lot cleaner and easier to keep clean. So this is the first layer going on. Obviously I want to get all this done before I put any of the vinyl graphics on that I've got planned for it, which is coming next. So this you basically rub on, wait for it to flash, and then get it off quickly, and if you leave it on too long, you're in a bit of trouble, especially on a black bonnet like this. So I have done this a few times before, so I know how quickly you need to go at it. Basically, as soon as you start seeing it flash, that's it, remove it. Like you see there, as it starts to separate, that's it, that's time to wipe it off. And this really helps with stopping water and muck and anything sticking to the panel. this point. I think you'll be able to see where I'm going with this car at this point, and it's starting to really take shape now. So I just want to thank everyone who's watched this project through to this point, and thanks to my subscribers for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed but you've seen this, please consider hitting that subscribe button, because it does help a lot when you see people subscribe. It kind of eggs you on a bit to try harder, to do more, to try and improve this car even further than it already is. So thanks to everyone, and as always I'll give you a little peek at what's coming in the next video. So thanks for watching everyone, catch you next time.